Good morning, YouTubers. It's been about a week since my last video. Wanted to bring y'all an update after the orientation process for Swift 2020. Those of y'all that are new to the channel, that haven't subscribed, that are wondering what the Swift orientation is like, please go back and look at my very first video. In less than 10 minutes, I basically describe exactly what you're going to expect going through Swift orientation for 2020. So quite a bit's happened since my last video with Swift. I'm hubbed out of the Laredo yard. After the orientation process, I was accepted into flatbed, and I had to do a physical agility. So the header on this video will be what to expect after Swift orientation, or something to those effects. Most of y'all guys will probably go drive-in, but if they do offer flatbed, this will be out of the Laredo yard. There's not very many yards across the US that offer the flatbed for Swift, but if y'all are hubbed out of North Carolina, Laredo, think maybe Arizona, don't hold me to it, y'all might get lucky and get the flatbed. It pays a little bit more. But what you're going to expect, guys and gals, is physical agility. You're going to have to do a physical agility test, and I explained that in my orientation, at the end of my orientation video. And then you'll have to do a week-long course of strapping. Now, what to expect with the strapping is a 91 question written test, and it's basically going to be over federal motor carrier law and the diversified loads that you might be carrying and how you're going to strap it down. I want y'all to keep in mind, Swift isn't looking to fail y'all, but I mean, if y'all just bomb the test, they're not looking to pass you either, because at this point you're already a employee with Swift. So one of two things are going to happen. You're either going to pass the test and graduate strap class, or you're going to fail the test and they're going to cycle you back to drive-in. So with that being said, Monday through Friday is the duration of the class time in Laredo, Texas. You'll be throwing chains, you'll be throwing straps, you'll be throwing tarps. And essentially any good that's coming from the interior back to Laredo that will be going across the border into Mexico, you'll be learning how to secure these loads. That's where your base knowledge and OJT experience will derive from. So I already knew after orientation that I was wanting to do flatbed, and then shortly after I accepted flatbed, before I even did the physical agility, I was offered a dedicated line hauling cars, East Coast, West Coast. But in order to haul the cars, you have to pass flatbed, because essentially the dedicated account is managed through the flatbed division. So if you want the dedicated account, irregardless if you ever do flatbed or not, you're going to have to pass those tests. So just to reiterate to y'all, right after orientation, if you are operating out of a yard that does flatbedding and you do accept it, be prepared for a physical agility. Most of everybody who doesn't make it in flatbed, their life will begin and end at the physical agility. Once you get past that, and you know, you're able to satisfactorily perform the duties that they ask you to during the testing process, you will be a Monday through Friday, as long as it's 5 days. I have some people that jumped in on my class in the middle of the week that are ending their flatbedding Tuesday, but as long as you get your 5 days in, and it'd be the day before your strap class ends, you'll be handed a pretty thick test. You'll also be handed a 100 plus page book. Actually, I think it might be close to 200 pages, somewhere between 100 and 200 pages. Will be your manual, your learner's manual. Basically, it's going to be your operating procedures, how to strap, and what the weights of the axles are, and how many straps are going to be needed per square foot, per square pound. You get that, you're just going to study out of that book. And I highly suggest any of y'all that do accept this, that have problems with testing, especially if you already know the material, because you can read it a million times out of the book and recite it, but once you read it in a test, it's totally different. Yeah, ask as many questions as you want. Like I said, Swift isn't looking to fail you. They're not looking to pass you and just give it to you. You know, you're gonna have to show effort to be able to pass it, but they will definitely help you along. That's what they're there for. So y'all that migrate over to the stack team for dedicated hauling for the vehicles, be prepared. Stack teams are team drivers. So basically any miles that you have coming back, you don't have to split them. Let me reiterate, any miles you have coming back. So if you drive 1,500 miles coming back from point of destination to drop, and you have to return back to your home terminal to reload, you do not have to split those miles. If it's 1,500, or if it's 800, or if it's 1,000, or if it's 2,000 miles, you personally get paid for those miles, regardless if you're sleeping in the sleeper or if you're behind the wheel of the vehicle. Well, I hope I was able to clarify a lot of uncertainties out there. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe, smash that like icon, thumbs up, and hit the notification icon. I will keep pumping these videos out in regards to my employment with Swift. I just want to let all y'all know the terminal that I operate out of, you know, when you get employed with Swift, they just don't hand you keys and send you on your way. There's a lot of testing and a lot of classes that you have to go through, and that's irregardless if you're new or if you're experienced. They all have to go through the same qualifications. If you're seeking employment with Swift, be prepared to do testing. Be prepared. You're going to have to download these Swift apps, Dialed In, Engage, whatever it might be. They have Swift University. They will constantly be applying more tests. Basically, they're refreshers, brain stretchers, change in federal motor carrier laws, changed in Swift policies that you'll constantly be tested on. Not necessarily a bad thing. To any of y'all that ride motorcycles, that like to do your own mechanicking, look me up on my other YouTube page, Paranormal Biker. I have DIYs and how-tos specifically to Harley Davidson. Until next time, guys and gals, y'all stay safe out there on the roads.